Okay, so you're thinking about a career pivot. Maybe you're thinking about trading in those spreadsheets for something, well, a little more artistic. Porcelain painting caught your eye, and hey, I get it. Those delicate teacups and intricate designs, they're seriously mesmerizing. But you're smart to look beyond the pretty pictures. You're asking yourself, what's it really like to make a go of this as a career? And that's exactly where this deep dive comes in. We've got a treasure trove of info from RoleCatcher for this one. And they not only break down the porcelain painting profession in their detailed career guide, but they also give us a glimpse into how their AI platform is changing the whole job hunting game.
Fascinating.
But before we get lost in algorithms, let's talk teacups. Or rather, what comes to mind when you picture a porcelain painter?
Yeah.
Because it's not just about teacups, is it?
You're absolutely right. It's so much more diverse than many people realize. While the guide emphasizes decorative illustrations, imagine that artistry splashed across vibrant tiles, handcrafted pottery, even one-of-a-kind figurines. We're talking architectural elements, custom designs. It's a whole world of surfaces just begging for a unique touch.
It's like a hidden world of Candaces almost. And since you brought up custom, the guide mentions this career being a good fit for someone who likes to work independently and thrives in a niche market.
Right.
Now, for those of us who haven't taken a business jargon crash course, what does that actually look like for a porcelain painter out in the wild?
Okay, imagine this. You're not just the artist. You're the CEO of your own creativity. You're finding your own clients. You're building a brand that speaks to those who appreciate this very specialized craft. That's the niche. A dedicated clientele looking for those unique handmade pieces. And being the one to find them, well, that's where the work independently part comes in, which explains why a whopping 67% of the role function in the guide is dedicated to sales and marketing.
Okay, 67%, that's huge. It sounds like you need to be as business savvy as you are artistically talented to make it in this world. So it's not enough to just paint a beautiful piece. You have to hustle to get it seen, right?
Exactly. It's a balancing act for sure. And that brings us to the pros and cons the guide outlines. Good news first. Creative freedom reigns supreme. You're building something truly unique, potentially experiencing incredible artistic growth, all while working with your hands and these gorgeous high-quality materials. Sounds pretty idyllic, but...
There's always a but, isn't there? Don't sugarcoat it. Give it to us straight.
All right, no sugarcoating. The guide is upfront about the challenges. It can be physically demanding. Those intricate details, they don't paint themselves. And job opportunities, particularly in a niche market, they require some serious hustle. Then there's the income aspect, which the guide lists as potentially low, especially when starting out. No guarantees of striking it rich by selling hand-painted teacups, unfortunately.
That's a dose of reality for sure. It's great the guide is so transparent about the financial realities, especially for someone considering a career change. Speaking of realities, it doesn't shy away from the skills needed either, and I was surprised to see it's not just about mastering a paintbrush.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
it is.
While we might picture an artist surrounded by palettes and brushes, the guide highlights a surprising statistic. 52% of the role function is actually classified as mechanical.
Mechanical. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. We're not talking about painting robots, are we? What's the connection?
Not robots, at least not yet. Think about the equipment involved. We're talking kilns, those high-temperature ovens used to fire porcelain, each with its own quirks and settings. Then you've got specialized tools for glazing, shaping, and applying those intricate designs. There's a surprising amount of technical know-how involved, a true marriage of art and science.
So it's not just a paint-by-numbers kind of thing, huh?
Absolutely not.
There's real science behind those vibrant colors and delicate finishes. Yeah, a porcelain painter needs a deep understanding of how different glazes react to heat, how to mix colors for that desired effect after firing, even the physics of heat distribution within a kiln. A tiny miscalculation can be the difference between a vibrant masterpiece and, well, a cracked, discolored mess.
Oh, wow. That actually reminds me, the guy also lists attention to detail as a key skill, and I'm really starting to see why. It's more than just a steady hand. It's understanding the chemical dance happening in the kiln, right?
Precisely. And that detail-oriented mindset, it extends beyond the technical. Think about those client interactions. The guide talks about understanding customer needs, translating their vision into a tangible, beautiful piece.
It's almost like you're a translator of sorts, but instead of words, you're using glazes and firing techniques to communicate an idea. That must be incredibly rewarding when you nail it, but also a bit nerve-wracking if a client isn't happy with the final product.
There's definitely an element of vulnerability involved. Like you're sharing a piece of yourself with every creation,
Mm.
which makes those client relationships so crucial. It's about communication, collaboration, and, yeah, sometimes managing expectations, which the guide dives into as well.
Speaking of diving in, the guide also talks about the importance of building a portfolio and networking. But it's not just about rubbing elbows at fancy gallery openings, right? It actually calls out professional associations as a vital resource for porcelain painters.
And it's easy to dismiss these associations as old-fashioned, but honestly, they're like a secret weapon for any aspiring artist. Think about it. You're entering a field that can feel isolating, especially early on. These associations, they offer a supportive community, a place to exchange ideas, learn from seasoned professionals, and yes, sometimes even hear about potential gigs. It's like a built-in support system for your artistic journey.
So it's not just what you know, it's who you know, or rather, who you connect with within these communities. And with all this talk about marketing, building a brand, finding clients, it really drives home the point that you're running your own business, just like the guide highlights.
Exactly. And that's where a strong online presence becomes essential. It's something the guide touches on briefly. In today's world, a stunning portfolio alone isn't enough. Aspiring porcelain painters need a digital storefront, a website, social media presence, maybe even an online shop to showcase their work and connect with potential clients.
It's like your art needs its own marketing campaign almost, which seems a bit at odds with the image of a solitary artist lost in their work. Speaking of styles, the guide mentions a bunch of specialisms within porcelain, painting everything from traditional floral motifs to sleek, modern designs. It's not all just dainty roses and teacups, is it?
Not at all. It's a spectrum, from those classic designs to cutting-edge contemporary pieces. And that's the beauty of this field. The potential for exploration is endless. The guide provides a great foundation, but it's up to each artist to discover their own voice, their unique style that sets their work apart.
To find the style that makes their brushstrokes sing, so to speak. Now, speaking of tools and techniques, the guide surprised me by mentioning something I wouldn't normally associate with a traditional craft, like porcelain painting, CAD software, and 3D printing. Those seem more at home in a high-tech design studio than an artist's workshop.
And this is where things get really interesting. We're seeing a fascinating convergence of tradition and technology in the porcelain painting world. Imagine this. Using CAD software to create incredibly intricate designs with a level of precision that's impossible by hand. These designs can then be transferred onto porcelain using specialized decals or even printed directly onto the surface with 3D printing techniques.
Wow, it's like a whole new world of possibilities opening up. But I imagine some artists might be hesitant to embrace technology, feeling like it takes away from the handmade aspect of the craft.
There's always that tension between preserving tradition and embracing innovation, and every artist will find their own balance. But these technologies, they aren't meant to replace the human touch, but rather to enhance it, to offer new tools and techniques for artists to explore their creativity. It's about expanding the artistic toolkit rather than replacing the artist.
It's like having a digital apprentice by your side, opening up all these new avenues for experimentation. But for all its innovation, the guide also hints at something technology can't replicate: the emotional resilience needed to navigate the art world.
It's an aspect that's often overlooked. It takes courage to put your work out there, to open yourself up to critique, especially when it's something as personal as art. Not every piece will be met with praise,
Mm.
and learning to handle rejection gracefully, it's just as important as mastering those glazing techniques.
It's that age-old saying, you have to be able to take the heat, literally and figuratively, in this line of work. And that reminds me of another point the guide touches on: finding your community, your tribe within the art world. Why is that so crucial, especially in a field that often involves working solo?
Because even the most independent artist benefits from connecting with others who understand the unique joys and struggles of this path. Think of it as your creative support system, a network of mentors, peers, and even those friendly rivals who inspire you, challenge you, and help you stay sane when those kiln gods just aren't cooperating.
It's like having a built-in cheering section, pushing you to keep experimenting, keep growing as an artist.
Which brings us back to why we're here, contemplating a career as a porcelain painter. The guide provides an incredible roadmap, but there's one question only you can answer.
And that question is this: does the thought of bringing your own porcelain creations to life, of pouring your creativity into this unique blend of art and science, does it light a fire within you? Imagine holding a piece you've created: a delicate teacup, a vibrant tile, a quirky figurine. infused with your unique vision. It's not just beautiful, it's a testament to your dedication, your craftsmanship, your ability to transform humble materials into something truly extraordinary.
The path of a porcelain painter won't always be easy, but the rewards, both creative and personal, can be immeasurable.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we'll leave you with this: trust your gut, explore those creative impulses, and who knows, maybe you'll discover a passion for porcelain painting that runs deeper than you ever imagined.
And even if your path takes you in a different direction, we hope this deep dive has sparked a newfound appreciation for the artistry and dedication behind every handcrafted piece of porcelain you encounter.
Because in a world of mass production, there's something truly special about the art of the handmade. A reminder that beauty can be found in the most unexpected places, often at the tip of a paintbrush, and the heart of a passionate creator.